Alright guys, got another axe restoration video for you. This one's pretty bad. I actually got it at a flea market a couple months ago and just finally getting around to it. Looks like it's actually a century axe. I'll show it to you here. It's hard to see, but I think it actually was the original handle, but unfortunately this handle's pretty messed up. So and the head's already coming off. Actually, I already took it off. Just put it back on there to show you. But so get you a good look at the head here. Got some mushrooming on the back side here. We'll take care of that. But went to the store, got the new handle for it, everything. So we'll go ahead. Sorry, it's kind of bright, but we'll go ahead and put this on the wire wheel, get it all cleaned up, and get it looking brand new again. Alright, so we're going to take the axe, the head, to the wire wheel. Got it set up here. And if you're ever using a grinder wire wheel, I always recommend wearing protective eyewear, just because, I'll show you here, these little bristles of the wire, little pieces of wire, they actually will fly off of there. And I've been hit in the face with them, and I've been very happy to be wearing the glasses, because if something like that gets stuck in your eye, yeah, it's not going to be a good day for you. But I also recommend wearing a face mask too, because there's a lot of dirt and dust and rust that flies out into the air, and then you're breathing it in, which obviously isn't a good thing. But unfortunately, with everything going on, all my masks are at work, and because, you know, we have to wear them at work, so that's where all mine are. So we're just gonna tough it without one today. It shouldn't be too bad, but all right, I'll get you set up here and we'll get started. All right, I hope you guys are gonna be able to see this. I'm gonna be basically right here, just running the wheel over the entire face of the axe on both sides, try to clean it up as best as possible. Alright, so we got it all cleaned up. That's just with the hitting it with the wire wheel. You can see it already looks way better. You can actually read. There you go. The logo on it and everything. But now what we're going to do, I'm going to get some sandpaper, and we're just going to start with a really low grit, some coarse stuff, and just hand sand this now to get it more of a shine. Alright, so I just grabbed some 60 grit sandpaper, most coarse stuff I had, but I'll bring you down here a little bit so you can see what we're actually doing. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see that, but we're just going to go ahead and just start sanding. Alright, so I pretty much have the axe where I want it as far as sanding goes. As you can see, it definitely looks a whole lot better than what it did. Has a nice shine to it, but it still has some of that patina and some of that character that makes this axe the axe that it is. So I'm fine with this. I actually like the look of it. I don't want to get it too shiny, because then it just looks like a new axe, and this isn't a new axe. So I'm going to keep that the way it is, and what I'm going to start now is I'm going to start prepping our handle. So we're going to take the wedge out here. So whenever you buy a handle from the manufacturer, you can see how it's shiny there. It's like a slight coating on there. I have a bone to pick with the guy or whoever, gal, decided to put 2 stickers on an axe handle, knowing that whoever buys this is going to take those off. They are so hard to take off. It's literally taken me almost 15 minutes, and I've gotten that far. They put this little staple in the back so they can hang them up on the hook, like in the store. Why not just put a tag on there? Like, but no, I'm gonna spend another 45 minutes peeling these stickers off. All right, so after 45 minutes, finally peeled off those stickers. All right, so now what I'm gonna do for prepping the handle, like I said earlier, how it has that clear coat and that plastic on there. We want to get that off before we go any farther. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to take my knife. I'm just going to drag. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move you down here. I'm just going to drag, holding it parallel to the wood. And just drag it up there, up the handle, and you'll get that plastic stuff. It'll come right off. It's kind of like that nails on a chalkboard sound, but the more you do it, you kind of get used to it, and it doesn't make you cringe as much. And if you're doing it right, by the time you're finished, you will have a nice mess on your hands, so you get to enjoy cleaning that up after you're done too, which is always, yeah, it's a blast. Alright, so as you can see relatively quickly with that technique, see how we don't have that shine on there anymore? It's that flat, natural wood. So, I'll move you back up here. So as you can see, you can get through it pretty quick. You get that nice natural grain feeling, get a mess all over your shirt, you know, good stuff. But so I'm gonna take I think I'm gonna go with the 220 this time, and just run it up and down the handle just a little bit. Like I said, it's already pretty smooth. I could honestly get away without even doing it, but this is for my buddy, so I'm gonna take the extra time and do it for him. So Austin, there you go, shout out to you. So here we go. All right, so I realized I just sanded that and didn't even have it filming. So sorry you missed out on that exciting aspect of sanding a handle with sandpaper. It's riveting stuff, but I went over the whole handle. Nice and smooth now. All right, so I got it set up here. So what we're gonna do, take the torch, and we're just gonna burn our handle. All right, so I'm gonna let this end cool a minute, flip it around, and I'll do the other side. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna finish up doing the top end here. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, after it cools, I'm gonna take some of the 400 or 600 grit sandpaper and just run it up and down the handle, because after you burn it, you can get a little bit of the char on there and it doesn't feel so smooth. All right guys, so I was just about to set the axe head on the handle, and obviously it didn't fit right away, so fix this here. So what I did is I just took my belt sander and just sanded it down on each side just to kind of shave it down a little bit, because it was a little too fat to fit in the actual eye itself. And then also while I was doing that, I remembered about that mushrooming we had, so I just threw it on the grinder real quick. and just kind of trim that down. But I haven't tested it yet to see if it fits or not. I'll see if we have to sand any more off or not, but it was pretty close earlier before I even took anything off. So we'll see here. So that's where we are now. Still got about almost an inch to the top there. Let me bring you down here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our mallet, holding our axe upside down. I'm gonna hit the top, well, the bottom end of the handle, I guess. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna drive the handle down through the axe. So I'll hit it a couple times and then I'll show you how far we get it on the first attempt here. Alright, so as you can see, clearly we drove it the whole way down there, almost the whole way to the bottom. I think a couple more hits, we might be able to get up that, get it down that last little bit there. I'm going to pull out my other mallet, my wooden one. So I'm going to pull out this giant mallet here. My brother Derek actually made this for me with nothing but hand tools, so it's actually really neat and comes in handy. So we'll give it a smack here, see if we can get that down any farther. As you can see, that one is definitely driving it down farther than the other one. So give it another hit here, see if we can get it down just a little tiny bit farther. Alright, that sounds pretty solid there. And we are just about perfect. It doesn't get much better than that. Hangs dead straight. So now that we got our axe on there, we got to go ahead and remember our wedge that we took out in the beginning that I had sitting in there. I'm going to get out our linseed oil. We're going to oil this up, oil up the wedge, and we'll go ahead and pound the wedge in there and set the head. Go ahead and get this set in here. Alright, so we got it started. Alright, so we're just going to pound the wedge down in there. Alright, so our wedge broke. That's no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and just cut the top of that off. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I just cut the top of that off, the extra off of there. So that's what we have now. You can see the wedge running down the middle. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take one of the circle metal wedges here, and I'm just going to pound it down into the top there. Alright guys, so I have the metal wedge set in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and just pound it down into the handle here. Alright, so you can see we got it the whole way down in there. We got some really good mushrooming at the top. And I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. make it look a little bit nicer. Alright guys, so we're in the final, I'm going to get you up here. Final stages here. Our axe is hung. We got our set in there. I went ahead and just burned the top of it just so that the top and the bottom match the rest of the handle. So what I'm going to do now, like I said earlier, whenever I grinded this, the mushrooming off, it left a little bit of a sharp edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my file, just run it right down on that edge right there, just kind of round that off. All right. So there, it's basically done. I'm not going to sharpen it yet, simply because I don't know what he's going to use it for. I don't know if he's just going to hang it up, leave it as a decoration. I don't want it too sharp if he's going to be handling it. But if he's actually going to be using it, then I'll go ahead and I'll put an edge on there. Alright guys, so it's all finished. Get you a close-up here. So that's it. What I did to finish it up is I just took that linseed oil that we used for the top, and just rubbed it all down the handle, let it soak in, put a heavy coat on, just to keep that handle in good shape as he uses it. Went ahead and put the paracord wrap on here. Not only does it, I think it make it look cool, but it acts as an impact guard. So if you overstrike, you're gonna hit the paracord and it'll save your handle from busting up. So this is what we got. Well, if you guys liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. And then if you want me to, in the next video, show you how I actually did this wrap, go ahead and comment down below, and I'll make sure to include it in the next video. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I think it turned out really well. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.